It started, as many things do, with the moon. It was full that night, casting silver across the empty roads and the tops of trees, making the world feel both ancient and brand new. I had wandered farther than I meant to, lured by the quiet and the way the air held its breath. I wasn't afraid. I never had been. Not of shadows or silence, or the way the dark seems to lean in when you walk alone. He stepped out of that dark like he belonged to it. I don't know why I stopped. I don't know why my heart didn't race, or why my instincts didn't scream. Maybe it was the way he looked at me, not hungry, not cold, just tired. As though he'd been waiting for something for a very long time, and had only just realized it might be me. There was no pretense in him. He didn't try to charm or dazzle. He simply existed, still and solemn under the trees, watching me like I was sunlight he hadn't seen in years. The stories don't prepare you for the quiet of them. The old ones, the real ones. There's no hissing or snarling, no theatrics, just a presence, heavy and elegant, and eyes that have watched centuries pass and still look surprised when someone meets them without flinching. I didn't flinch. I don't remember how many nights followed, only that they blurred together in the most beautiful way, moments spent beneath the stars, my breath fogging in the cold, while he stayed impossibly still beside me, like marble. But he was warm, warmer than I expected. He never touched me without permission, never overwhelmed me. I think he thought he was protecting me. But what you didn't understand, what he could know, was that I never felt safer than when he was near. Over time, he stopped pulling away so quickly. His hand lingered on mine. His voice, when he used it, was soft and careful, like someone learning a forgotten language. I could see the ache in him, the loneliness that came with living too long. It wasn't a hunger for blood. It was a hunger for connection, for trust, for something real in a world that had grown too quiet. And me? I gave him that. Not out of pity, not out of fear, but because I knew what it felt like to walk through the world with your heart half asleep. With him, it woke up. Even now, I don't know if what we have will last a year or 100, but I know what it feels like to be seen, to be cherished by something so old and broken and careful. It feels like standing at the edge of a cliff, not with fear but with wonder. It feels like moonlight on your face and an immortal heart beating next to yours. And it feels, somehow, like love.
She was unexpected. Not in the way storms are, sudden and violent, but in the way spring creeps in after a brutal winter, soft, sure, and utterly certain of itself. I had gone out that night only to walk, to disappear into the silence that had become my companion. I didn't need company. I didn't need warmth, or so I told myself. And then she appeared. She didn't run. She didn't recoil. She looked at me like I was a man, not a monster, like I had a right to be there beneath the trees, same as her. That look unraveled something in me I didn't know I was still holding together. I followed her, gently at first. A presence, not a force. I didn't mean to return the next night, or the one after, but I did. Again and again, drawn not by instinct but by her stillness, her quiet strength, the way her eyes met mine without fear. There was a steadiness to her I had never known. I had seen so much, lost so much, that I'd begun to forget the weight of time. But with her, minutes mattered again. An hour beside her felt like a treasure, a shared glance could hold for eternity. I watched the moonlight in her hair. I memorized the rhythm of her breath. I learned her silences, her smallest smiles. And with every night, something inside me softened. I had not thought myself capable of that kind of gentleness anymore. She never asked what I was, not aloud, but she knew. I saw it in the way she watched me when I turned my face from the sun, in the questions she didn't ask. And still, she stayed. She stayed when I kept my distance. She stayed when I didn't trust myself to be near her. She stayed when I wanted to run. It terrified me, this wanting, this slow return of feeling. It had been lifetimes since I let someone close enough to matter. But she slipped through my guard like water, not forcing anything, just being. And that, somehow, undid me. I have lived long enough to know that nothing lasts forever. Even I won't, not really. But now, for the first time in decades, centuries, I want the days. I want the small hours. I want her laughter in the dark, and her footsteps in the frost, and her hand resting quietly in mine. I never expected to love again. It had been centuries. But here she is, and now I find myself becoming something I thought I had long forgotten how to be. Hers.